Hello and welcome back to Bourbon Barrel Talk. I'm your host, Scott Minton. Today we are at the 1870 Club. We're drinking a little whiskey and we're talking about our first pours for one of our buddies that just turned 21 today.
It's a fucking birthday.
It's a birthday, that's right. So first pours, and we're going to discuss first pours before you were legally able to drink.
First pours,
and first pours as you're legally to drink. So that's going to be the conversation today. I figured we'd get outside the box a little bit, not review anything. And if you're drinking something special and you're like, man, this is really good, tell us about it, right? Because I think everybody's got something a little different unless everybody literally opened the same bottle I did. So, which I don't think we did.
You drank all of that one.
I did not drink all of it. There's plenty over there. Did Coop get some of that yet?
Is this the master?
No, the old Carter. But that's a good bottle too, though.
I'm still working on the early time.
You're still working on the ET? All right, look at this. Yeah. So anyway, happy birthday. Our buddy Cooper Crouch is with us today. Cooper is Andy's son. Andy's been on the podcast a few times, so welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's
good.
A really cool place.
It is a cool place. This is not my place. I wish it was, but it's not. So my buddy Jason lets us use his space every now and then.
Sometimes you can find Scott recovering over there in the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. I like recovery. You know, I like the little gun they shoot you with. You know, and you loosen the muscles. What is that called?
I feel like you like the journey to recovery.
Yeah,
that puts you in the state of needing to be recovered.
That too.
Yes,
absolutely. Whiskey time. Legend's in the house. What's up, Legend?
Greetings and salutations. Happy birthday to the young lad here.
Yeah, the young lad. So wait a minute. So Coop's 21, and you're older than 21. How many 21st birthdays have you had?
Would be 51.
51 21st birthdays. Damn, that's a lot of 51st birthdays.
That's a lot of 51st birthdays. Yeah.
Wait, the math ain't mathin'. What is that? 51 21st birthdays.
Yeah, 72.
72.
Math is hard, Johnny.
No,
Jesus
I thought he was multiplying.
I thought he was multiplying.
Okay,
too. I'm with Johnny on this.
Listen here, chat. I'm not retarded all the way.
Whoa. Slightly. We do not use the R slur, dog.
He's slow. He means slow.
Anyway, I'm 72
I
and
say
happy
that with
to
lots
be
of
here.
fondness.
Absolutely. We're glad you're here. So, first pours. Let's go around the table. Let's talk a little bit about our first pours that we had before we probably should not have had a little sippy sip in our lives. Lord knows we probably all had it in high school or maybe a little earlier, or maybe it was when you first went away to college. So let's talk a little bit about that story, and then we'll go back around and we'll talk about the first time we had alcohol as a grown person. How's that?
I like that sound of it.
Who wants to go first?
Brilliant.
I think the birthday boy should go first.
Think the birthday boy should go
about
first?
Him tonight. So.
All right, birthday boy.
So
All right, Coop.
the very first time I ever had alcohol,
Very first time you ever had
it
it.
was probably around Christmas. I was probably, I don't know, 9, 10 years old.
9, 10. Damn.
You
Don't be going you to your
Grandpa.
dad. Grandpa?
He was like, I'm like, what's that? And he's like, try a little bit. He'll put a hair in your chest.
Is this Larry Grandpa or
Yeah.
other Grandpa?
Yep. Honestly, both are like, that's a good question because it could have been either.
It could have been either.
Andy,
yeah.
you act surprised hearing that.
No, I don't know that I knew that story.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was at their old house, so you do the math. It had to have been.
Yeah, you're right. It's a bit ago.
Family secrets being
Been a hot
exposed.
minute.
Okay.
Nick, I know you have to have a story.
I have a couple here. So I was in high school. I had a friend who lived out on the farm, and out there on that farm, farmers tend to make something called country wine, and this is kind of like fermented / distilled leftovers that they have, and they pass it around to everybody, to all the other farmers, and usually they'll just literally pour them in 2-liter sodas, and I will say that the proof is very high on it. It's not like Everclear, not like that, or Rock Gut, or any type of moonshine of that sorts. But I would say it was easily 100 more proof, and I actually still have a little at the house.
It was like low wine, like
Yeah, it's kind of like low wine almost.
huh?
Is it fruity like wine would be?
There is a little fruitiness to it, yes.
Probably like grappa or something. But I don't know. Weird.
But yeah, that was like, outside of having beer, that was like first like liquor that I could say that I had. Fast forward probably about 3 or 4 years into college, and actually one of my first bourbons that I had was Early Times.
Early times.
One of the seniors or people who were legal at that time. Went to the
And it might have been like the handle we have over
it
there.
is actually just like that. Yes, and that was one of the first bourbons that I've ever had.
That's funny. So, Johnny,
First non-bourbon that I remember having was New Year's Eve of 1999. Every year we used to go to my parents' friend's house. They had a big New Year's birthday bash kind of party. And I thought I was really cool because I got to hang out with all the high schoolers and enjoyed, being the cool kid for a night. And I would always get to stay over, and the people that owned the house would always have a box of cereal for me on New Year's Day. And it was really cool and really special. Well, in 1999, I remember trying a mixture of champagne that I borrowed from the fridge from the adult party that was upstairs and mixed it with Sprite, and I ended up throwing up meatballs all night long. It was horrible. So that was my actual first first drunk throw up experience with alcohol. But the first pour of whiskey that I had was with my grandfather, rest in peace, Pawpaw. He had a really cool bar in their house that was built in the 70s, kind of this like black slat stone with a gold cresses in it. It was really pretty. And he was a simple drinker. He liked Old Foe 100, and he liked Makers. And I remember that I was maybe 12, 13, and actually got to sit there and have a small little glass with him. So it was really special.
get a little sippy sip.
A little sippy sip.
Legend. What about you, man? Lean in.
I'm not even sure when I had first drink, other than the fact that when we had a cold, my father would make us
Little hot toddies.
whiskey, lemon juice, and sugar.
Yeah, kind of like a hot toddy.
Kind of like, yeah. And probably the first actual liquor would have been freshman year of college.
Freshman year of college.
I know I had a beer in high school.
Now, wait a minute. I know Hanover's a dry campus. How did you sneak that on the campus, man?
Jesus.
Legend? Come on, man.
Everybody snuck it on campus.
Was this before or
First-
after Prohibition? I can't remember.
I'm not going to say what I want to say.
Just maybe slightly after Prohibition.
Okay.
But they now have a bar on the campus.
They have a bar on the campus now?
They do.
Shut the front door. Look
A-
at
anyway.
Hanover being progressive.
I will easily swear that it's a miracle I made it through my freshman year of college without being killed, arrested, or kicked out of school.
There you go.
We did more stupid shit
Same.
than you could ever think possible.
Did that happen in year 2?
Oh, he said his freshman year.
My freshman year.
I know. I'm just saying, but did it happen more in year 2 or less in year 2?
Oh, actually, less. Because,
He met his wife.
well, no, that was year 3.
Oh, my bad. I knew he met her in college.
Year
His mistress in year 2.
year
And his wife year
2,
3.
my two best friends, one got kicked out of school for bad grades, and the other one got married, so it kind of cut down on all the activity.
I mean, who gets married that young?
That was pretty late back then.
That was, that was 1972, 73.
72, 73. Oof.
Kind of traditional shit, going on then.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you weren't born by then.
72. You weren't born in 72. Were you born in 72, Jason? Oh, he was born in March in 72.
Anyway, actually, first legal drink was probably the same year because I lived in the Detroit area, and in Canada, drinking age was 18.
There you go.
So just driving across the border and titty bars and drinks.
So wait a minute. Now, I learned a fun fact just not that long ago. So I understand, and I guess I've never looked at the U.S. map that closely before, but there's actually a part in Canada called Windsor, Canada, that you actually have to drive 30 miles north to get to Detroit. Is that the part of Canada you went to, or did you
Not
go?
30 miles. No,
Somebody
it's
said it was like 30 miles. I don't know.
like a
I'm-
mile.
It's like, oh, really? It's that close?
Just
Okay.
across the Detroit River.
Right. Yeah.
But Windsor is technically south
of Detroit.
Detroit.
Yeah. Now, who knew that? Who knew that Canada? There was portions of Canada that were actually south of Detroit. Shut up, Nick. You know everything, you nerd.
I knew
I have
there
an
were
ex-girlfriend from there,
From Windsor?
from Detroit.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yes, it's true.
Everybody from the 313. There we go. Mr. Crouch. Mr. Crouch.
Mr. Crouch.
AC. CAC.
We're not in AC's lounge today.
Well, you could be in whatever lounge you want to be in.
I remember. So it took us a little while to figure out when I was a kid that I was allergic to, well, the outdoors for the most part. But Mom always got a live Christmas tree every year. And right around Christmas time, everything just got the worst for me. Seemed like I was getting sick every year right at Christmas as a kid. And because it was at Christmas, there were no doctors or anything to go to. But my mom had picked up some cough syrup or something from my granddad and just kept giving it to me. And I remember sitting in the middle of the floor just catatonic. And she's like checking on me. And she's like, I don't know, what is this stuff that he's given me? And this stuff ended up like 120 proof. It was just mostly alcohol, is what she had been pouring down my throat.
I mean,
I was little, man.
Yeah.
It is
I was
Western
little.
Kentucky,
right,
by the way.
I bet it was hooch.
It came out of, it looked like a medicine bottle, but it was almost all alcohol. I just remember her saying, oh my gosh, we've gotten our kid drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. So for me, I think I've told the story on the podcast once before. My Uncle Pete, when I was like 9 years old, at Thanksgiving, we were having dinner, and I kept just bugging the shit out of him. Uncle Pete, what do you drink? What do you drink? What are you drinking? And then I'm like, let me have some. So finally he gave me a sip of his, and I took a big old just gulp of Wild Turkey 101, and I lost my entire Thanksgiving dinner. So that was kind of my first wrangle period, with alcohol. So
Awesome.
I'd like to admit that I actually had snuck a beer or done something fun, that didn't make me super sick and seemed cool. But no, I went all in.
Do you remember your first legal?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My first legal. So the weekend that I turned 21, we went to Bailey's Bar. There, it used to be across from Green Tree Mall. They have a little pool hall and the smoking lounge in the back, that type of thing. And I'd been drinking there quite a bit before I ever turned 21. Which is why this is kind of a funny story. So I go in and we're all celebrating, and the waitresses are like, what are you all celebrating? I'm like, it's my 21st birthday. They're like, Minton, you've been coming here for like 2 years. I'm like, that's a you problem, not a me problem.
That's your problem.
So we were celebrating my 21st birthday, and I drank a big, just giant, fish bowl of whatever shit they put in it.
The schooner.
Yeah, whatever it was. I have no idea. It was purple and had a whole bunch of other stuff. So, but my first whiskey after I turned 21 would have probably been, and I'm guesstimating because I can't remember 100% on that piece, but we were hanging out with Mark Evans, which was the basketball coach at Mercy Academy, and he's shoves a big old glass full of Makers at the bar when we're at a basketball tournament in Northern Kentucky. I can't remember the name of the college. Northern Kentucky College. But Bishop Brossart was the name of the little high school that we played there, because it was like the Catholic school roundup. So all the Catholic schools went to Northern Kentucky High School, and they all played in this basketball tournament. So he's like, here, Minton, slid it down, and I just started tearing back Maker's Mark with him because that was his favorite pour. So
Nice.
what, Legend? You sleeping again, man?
No, I'm just listening.
Sure.
I'm just listening.
All right. 21 first pours. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. My grandma took me to a little pizzeria in Georgetown and bought me my first legal beer. I believe it was a Miller Lite. And so that was the first time that I legally had a drink. And if we're doing whiskeys, I don't know if I remember what I was drinking, but I remember having a 21st birthday party in the basement of my parents' house, and I got really drunk on whiskey. Don't know what it was, but it was enough to where I was having a drunken lightsaber fight out in the backyard at 3 a.m. with my friends, and it was great.
Like a fake lightsaber?
Is that code for something?
No.
He didn't say he was crossing swords with his buddies. He said
No.
they were fake
A legit-
lightsabers.
Yes, Scott, it was a real freaking lightsaber that, can cut through plasma or
No,
whatever.
obviously it wasn't. I meant is it the one you get at Kmart, or was it like I don't know if they had
It was
similar
higher
to the ones
quality.
that they make at Disney now. I know they don't make. I know they haven't been making them at Disney that long, but was it like a fancy one, or was it just like the Kmart or Walmart?
It was not like the one that extends out in several chunks. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
The one that will break that you get from Walmart or
Yeah.
Kmart or at the time. No,
Yeah.
it was a step up. I think it was one of their FX replicas, which you should not hit together
other stuff,
because
yeah.
they're not really they're nice looking.
Yes.
but they're not made for combat, and we tested that theory that evening.
Very well.
with all the alcohol.
I figured
going
it's
on.
one of those carny swords.
Carney swords.
You know, whenever like thunder, they're rolling
Oh,
around
the neon light
stuff.
color ones. No. This was. Please, I am a man of refined taste, Nicholas. It was a legitimate lightsaber. Yeah, there's a pinky out. Whatever.
All right. So my 21st birthday, my parents actually took me out to Casino Aztar. So I got to do drinking and gambling
All at the same time.
all at the same time. And I remember I had a couple of beers then, so that was a beer night. But I will say that a few friends had a party with me a little bit later, and I'm not too ashamed to say, but they had bought a bottle of Jim Beam Black at the time. They had just started coming out with that around that time, and that was one of my first legal bourbon pours that I had.
I too did go to the casino the night I turned 21. And the funny part about that was, so we went to Bailey's, had a good time, left, went to at that time I guess it would have been Caesars or whatever it was when they first opened up. And I walked right on the boat. Nobody looked at me, nobody carded me, nothing. They carded every single person after me, and every one of them were like all my buddies, my friends. They'd all been 21 for like a couple of years. Even my wife, like, you know, was older than me. And then her mother comes through, and she walks right on past. So it's like me and my mother-in-law are the only ones that walk in without getting carded. And Becky's like, this motherfucker. And I'm like, you know what, Becky? I said, part of life is if you walk into the room like you own it, people never suspect a thing.
100% confidence.
Yeah,
That's what
so,
it is.
So I tell people that all the time. Like, if you just own it, like I'm here, I'm supposed to be here.
Yep.
Most people will never bother you, which is kind of a nice thing to learn early in life.
Was this with hair or without hair?
Oh, I've not had hair probably since I got married in '96. So
Okay.
I mean, it's been real sparse since then.
Rocking the cue ball. Maybe that was it.
I didn't start rocking the cue ball until probably 2006 or 7. I mean, it's I've had it for.
Did you
a
have
long
a
time.
drunken friar?
A drunken friar?
Or the Jean-Luc Picard? That's what I call it, the drunken friar.
Oh no.
Where just kind of like the tonsor look.
No,
where it's
no,
a
no,
little
no.
bit
So
bald
no. I can still grow hair. It's just it's going to be real sparse. I mean, I've got like the bald spot on the back of my head.
Yeah.
And then I've got my forehead's like a 9 head at this point. It's not really a 4 head or a 6 head. It's pretty far back.
9?
I mean, yeah, the fingers like it goes pretty far back. It probably starts like back here. So it's like a
a lot.
6 or a 7 head.
Are y'all saying Scott's bald?
No.
Not at all.
This is a podcast.
Not at all, Andy.
I've never actually seen him, just hear him.
Yeah, I know. It's fair.
Okay.
I mean, people see me. I mean,
Just out and about.
that's right. You got to be out and about doing things. All right, 21 pour. Andy, you go first.
It would have been around 21. I don't know if I was yet or not, but it would have been close. It would have been the end of a semester. And we were headed to an end of semester college party. And we stopped by the liquor store, picked up a fifth of Makers and a 2-liter of Coke. Went to the party. We got there a little bit early, and the guy I was with was like, hey, Andy, why don't you put on some music, and I'll mix some drinks. So I went in the living room and figured out how to work the stereo and all that. Got some music going. Walked back into the kitchen, and he hands me like a big gulp cup, right? And I think I sipped on that thing for like, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours, and then finished it. Went back to the kitchen to pour myself another, and I could not find the bottle of Makers. So I went and found my buddy. I'm like, hey man, where's the rest of our bourbon? And he said, what do you mean the rest of it? I'm like, where's the bottle? He goes, I poured half in mine, half in yours, and topped it with Coke.
No.
We were both puking in the yard about an hour later.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned never let anybody else mix your drinks.
It probably is also why you're not a weeded bourbon fan.
That's probably got a lot to do with that. Yeah, now that you're right. I've never put that together.
Yeah,
You're
because I
right.
mean, weeded bourbon.
Ugh.
Once it comes out of your nose, I gotta believe
Yeah, it
that's
can't be
probably
good.
a
was-
flavor profile you're not real fond of.
It was not good.
Is this like a bourbon PTSD?
I mean, it
Almost?
could be.
A little bit.
It could be.
I couldn't eat a Big Mac for like 15 years after I got real super sick on McDonald's one time.
I couldn't drink bourbon for a couple of years after that.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was.
You know, Josh told me a similar story. Him and his buddies in college did that same similar story, not the same, but
Josh had friends in college.
So he said.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's hard to believe, but
the stories.
yeah.
I'm still waiting for that to happen to Barbara, but it hasn't happened yet.
But Barbara have friends?
No,
Shit.
I wasn't going there, so. But, drink a lot, get sick.
Gotcha.
Maybe have some
Yeah.
kind of PST where
PTSD, where she doesn't
PTSD.
drink for a while. I can see where that'd be the case. All right, legend 21. When was your first 21 pour?
Didn't matter because the age was 18 when I was.
Damn it, that's well. But you didn't technically live in Canada. You just drove
it was
across
18
the.
in Michigan too.
Was it 18 in Michigan?
Yep.
You know, it's funny. Somebody said that, like, I think it's Bristol, Tennessee. Like, on one state line, the drinking age for a long time was like 18, and then you could literally walk across the same street in the same town and drink at 21. Like, you had, like,
Bristol, Virginia, Bristol, Tennessee.
yeah. But, like, I don't know which side was which, though, at the time. But, like, evidently it was like 20 years ago or something. Like, you could literally walk across the street, and one was 18, the other one was 21.
I mean, 21 meant nothing to me.
Yeah.
Can we all agree that if you are old enough to be sent to war or smoke a cigarette, you should be able to drink?
I think we can all agree on that. Talking about age, it's real funny, and this has nothing to do with that piece. But have y'all noticed that, like, people in Kentucky are making such a big deal about, like, kids being able to get their learner's permit at 15?
No.
Like, we've been able to get our learner's permit in
Yeah.
Indiana at 15 for like years.
They just passed that, last week? Or
yeah, like last
or
week.
two?
It's the craziest thing, and you'd think that, like, they were, like, making some law that was like the most insane thing you'd ever heard of.
Wait, so how has it
was that
worked
way
this
in-
whole
I mean, I
time
got
in
my
Kentucky
learner's
then?
permit when I
You
was
had to be
16 and
16 when you got your
19.
learner's permit, and then you were 16 in so many days, and then, like, you had to have so many hours, and then after that you could get a license.
Andrew, I never knew that.
Yeah, it's really weird.
That
But
is weird.
I don't know. Have we missed anybody on the 21st birthday?
Cooper.
Coop?
I haven't really. Yeah.
Come on
3
in.
days ago.
3 days ago.
Or however.
Do you
So-
remember?
Yeah. Maybe.
Do you
Well,
remember?
that's tough.
It's tough to remember what you had 3 days ago.
Yeah.
That means you've had a good 3 days.
It was a great 3 days. Let's see. We waited. It was a Sunday, so the
Sunday.
liquor stores were closed.
Okay.
So, but the gas station wasn't. So I waited till midnight. I was playing pool at my neighbor's house, and
Right.
then we got a pack of American Spirits, and then we woke up, and then I got a bottle of G4 tequila.
G4 tequila. So do you
Yeah.
like? Is tequila like your drink of choice?
It goes between that and bourbon. Yeah, I really enjoy it.
Really? So what's your favorite tequila?
That's one of the best ones I've ever had.
G4. I've never
Yeah.
tried that one.
Some of them they age in bourbon barrels.
Yeah.
I like the Blancos.
You like the Blancos?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the long.
I'm the Reposado. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah,
The
Reposado.
ones, yeah,
Reposado.
the ones that are older than a year.
Reposado, yeah.
Yeah, because the Año is 12 months, right? And then the Reposado is anything over 12 months, or is it the
It's
opposite?
Año.
Okay, so
Añejo.
Añejo. So I like that
Añejo.
one. I like the one that's over 12 months. But yeah, so I thought like up to 12 months was called Añejo, but it actually does that mean just a year Añejo?
So
Añejo means aged.
it just means aged. Okay,
So typically, Blanco is just
clear.
clear
Yeah.
white. Reposado is anything, usually from anything that's been aged up to, and sometimes it depends on who you talk to. Sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it's 12 months. But anything that is more than at least 12 is then Añejo.
What are we all drinking right now? Just a round table. shoot off
So
of what
I
we're
just
snacking
finished
on.
off a glass of the Oak Carter 13-year single barrel, 119.6 proof, I think is what it is.
Lovely.
I'd have to. I don't remember the proof, but I think it's around that range. 119.8. Yeah, I was in the ballpark.
Pretty close.
Pretty close for somebody that hadn't looked at it.
I'm doing a nice little single barrel Michter's.
Single barrel Michters.
Lovely pour.
That's what Cooper's having too.
You're not having single barrel Michters. You're
It's
a Mick
Michters.
10, right?
Hmm?
Is it Mick 10? Yeah, the Mick 10.
Is it Mick 10 or Mick 10 single barrel?
They're all single barrels? Yeah. I couldn't remember if they were single barrels.
me, fool.
No, I couldn't remember if they were all single barrels or not.
I'm having.
You know, the funny thing
Mick
is
Rye.
about those Mick 10s, a lot of them are actually like 12, 13 years old.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was all sourced juice from Old Forester. So they just whatever they got, they kept it, and as it aged, they, like some of them, like
Even better.
Some of the Mick 20s are actually like 23, 24 years old, and then it's crazy. But matter of fact, the very first single barrel that Michter's released, that was a Mick 10, they sold at auction for a charity event, and they went in and picked the barrel, and the barrel that they picked was 15 years old. But they labeled it as a Mick 10 instead of a Mick 15 because they didn't want to make a special label.
So whoever got that bottle actually did really well.
Right.
Well, they did, but they didn't get very many bottles. But they donated like $20,000 to the charity just to have the right to buy the barrel, and then the barrel was another stupid amount of money. So, yeah. Anyway,
Old Carter.
Old Carter. All right,
I got the Mick bourbon.
Mick 10 bourbon. There we go. We got a lot of Mick 10s running around here. So what has anybody had more than one pour tonight? What's been your favorite so far, Nick?
The Early Times Dusty.
Early Times Dusty.
I'm
Coop,
on
what
the-
about you?
I'm
I
on
know
the
you've had
same
a
boat.
couple. You like that Early Times Dusty?
It's a little smoother. This one's pretty spicy.
Spicy. Yeah, Early Times Dusty. Yeah, I can see that. It's a little lower proof.
Yeah.
I think it's 86.
That's what I'd like, but I haven't seen the butler come around, so.
Oh. Well, Nick, ring, ring, ding, ding.
The
All right.
18-year-old butler.
That's right. The 18-year-old butler. There's nobody underage in here.
Hey, shout out to the 1870 Club. This venue's great.
Yes.
It is a nice space. They've got some cool stuff. They've been running stuff out. Actually, if you don't mind, hand me the Mick 10. Actually, yeah, hand me the Mick 10 because I know what we're doing next.
It's got a very nice speakeasy vibe going on in here.
Yep.
Low lights, exposed ceilings. Beautiful.
So, Coop, since it's your birthday, I don't do this for many people, but tell us what you do, how you do it, where people can come visit you, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm just like super excited to announce I've just opened up my own tattoo studio with a partner of mine, and we just opened up in January, and our whole thing is called Son of Eden Studio, and we're in Bloomington, Indiana. We are in the college town of IU, and the whole
IU,
thing-
baby.
Yeah, go Hoosiers.
Ooh.
Yeah, we had worked at other places or at another shop, and I had explored and even traveled the country, going to different studios and seeing what I liked and didn't like. And every place was just like super, like more hardcore, heavy metal, like this whole stigma around tattoo shops. And we decided to cover the place in plants, make it nice and zen, have like more of like an Eastern, have incense burning. And that's kind of our thing. It's kind of
Yeah.
our competitive thing. It's like we are different than every other studio.
I need to come in. I need to
Yeah.
get some work done.
I know a guy.
You know a guy?
I know a guy.
Yeah.
I will 100%
Now-
support your business.
Now, the next question is, so I the last time I saw you, you had nowhere near this amount of work done. So, so are you one of those crazy dudes that actually tattoos yourself, or do you have like your buddy
Yeah.
that does that? You actually
Yeah,
do it
my
yourself?
hands. Yeah, I
Look
just did
at
these
you.
most recent ones.
Your line work's clean, man.
Thank you.
Super clean.
Yeah.
Keep hitting the wire, man. Wires are hard.
It's a little
Just ask
short.
Johnny.
Here we go.
He messes them up all the time. It's not your fault.
That is a freaking lie, and you know it.
That is true. It is a lie. I made
That's
that up.
right. Chat, is that a lie or not? Respond in the post.
So you said Son of Eden?
Mm-hmm. S-O-N.
S-O-N.
Mm-hmm.
So not son,
You can
like
find us-
S-U-N, S-O-N.
Yeah. So
Son of Eden.
it's sonofeden.studio.
So are you
on
guys
both Facebook and Instagram?
like out towards Kirkwood, that area, or are you guys out towards more closer to the mall, or where are you at?
I'd say central, close to like downtown.
Okay, yeah,
So yeah, we're on Walnut Street. If you go past
Oh,
like
yeah.
down the square, just
Yeah.
like south of the square.
100%, yeah.
Mhm.
So you're not too far from Little Zagreb's down that way.
Yeah.
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 Little Zogs, I love Little Zogs. You ever go in there and get the spicy meatballs?
No.
That place is good. Go get that.
Okay.
Yeah, I shouldn't be whispering it like it's some secret. Like, go to Little Zagreb's, get the spicy meatballs. Delicious. You'll love them.
No, actually, you should. It has a different ring to it.
It did have a
It's
little
like
bit
this
of
little sensual secret,
like like a dirty secret. or something. So but Little Zogs, I like Little Zogs. It's good.
Cooper,
But-
has that been like a goal of yours, dream of yours for a time, or when did you decide that you wanted to do that?
Well, I was, like I said, we were working at the same place, and all I'll say is that there was some suspicious business activity going on by the owner,
Yeah.
and because he wasn't there very much, we were the ones kind of managing the place and running the show, and yeah, we got some information that we didn't expect to have, and we were like, well, we should probably get out of here before things get worse.
Vamonos.
It's so weird how you hear unscrupulous activities that go on in any type of business, right? Like you kind of sit back and you hear horror stories, and I'm like, why would you do that in your place of business? Like, it's how you pay your bills. It's how you make a living. Like, why would you do those type of things? That's one thing I've just never understood.
It's just it's that industry, man. It's really, compared to every other industry and like type of business,
Yeah.
we're still super far behind, I'd
Yeah.
say, even for like, we're very modern, but we're
Yeah.
still like, people are getting paid in cocaine,
Yeah.
8 balls, like, 10, 15 years ago. Probably still today.
Oh, I'm
Less
sure
common.
I'm sure 100% they probably still are today. I wonder if part of it is it's that, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, so I'm trying to think of a tactful way of saying it. I feel like artist brains work a little different.
Oh, 100%.
And I think sometimes when you have that mentality that like you're a little bit more loosey-goosey about certain things, and maybe that's what makes those type of things happen in that industry.
People, artist brains. I'm also like, I'm left-handed, so people who like have, right brain dominance versus left brain dominance. But just in general, artists aren't great with money.
Yeah.
It's just not one of
believe
those
me,
things.
I know. My youngest.
Yeah. So I went to business school, so that
Yeah.
kind of helped
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
So
Well, good deal, man. Well, I'll tell you what. This has been fun. Anybody else got any good stories they want to cover before we get off here?
Pertaining to birthdays or just in general?
The legend sleeping, whatever,
He doesn't last long anymore.
He doesn't, man.
He really doesn't.
I was out deer hunting.
That's what she said, right?
I'm just listening.
Man,
I don't
heard his name and popped right up.
I don't have to have my
He
eyes
is
open
listening.
to hear.
He is just obviously listening. He pops right up real quick.
Yeah.
I was going to start calling you Barbara. You kept, I thought you were nodding off over there.
I'm totally aware of what's going on here.
That's fair. That's fair. Even though I wasn't aware that Windsor was a mile south of Detroit.
You said it was 30.
Yeah. Well, so I never really realized, I knew Detroit was near the Canadian border, right? Because that's how we traveled across when we went to Toronto. But I never realized I was driving south when I left Detroit via car to go that way. So it's just kind of weird.
Do you have to drive south to go north? Is that one of those
Yes,
situations?
because the lake
Because of the lake.
clips.
Yep.
Yeah, the lake clips you at that portion. So
Especially the Detroit River there.
right. Yep. So. Well, I think that's our episode of Bourbon Barrel Talk. You can find us on Facebook, the Instagram, or the X. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, whether you are, on what? What's your favorite? Spotify, or I can't remember.
I always go with the YouTube.
You go to the YouTube?
I do.
Yeah, I'm a Spotify guy. Coop, what about
Spotify.
you? What's your favorite?
Spotify, 100%
Spotify,
all
yeah.
the way.
So whether you're on that, iTunes, Google Podcast, which I think now is YouTube Music or something.
YouTube Music Radio.
Yeah, so, but anyway, you can also find us on iHeartRadio. Anyway, whatever medium is, you get it. If you want to ask us a question, you can send it to bourbonbarreltalk@gmail.com.
Can we share the good news about our ranking?
I mean, you can.
I mean, it's just exciting.
It is exciting.
Number 7th.
Number 7. That's a nice 7 on your hand there. Nothing. You had one finger up. So you were saying one. Well, you were saying wait a minute one like that type. But it's
Okay,
fine.
apparently, John doesn't know his freaking numbers.
Yes, we have been recently ranked number 7 in the country for Bourbon Podcast. So it's definitely an accomplishment.
How the fuck did that happen?
There's days I wonder how anything happened with this whole thing, but definitely if you'd have told me we started this thing in 2019 that that it would have grown to this, I would have never believed you. So, but it's been a lot of fun. That's our podcast. You know where to find us. This is Scott, Johnny Tsunami, the legend, Nick, Cooper, Andy at the 1870 Club. Peace.
I'm your boogeyman.